imagine what they can put their belongings and
Mm-hmm.
all their things there.
Mm-hmm.
They imagine family gatherings or getting a new puppy or something. And it's the greatest moment that a client can have. And tell them before we write the offer, did you have that aha moment? And they'll tell me yes.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to the Closing Table podcast. I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. And joining us on this episode, excited to talk to her about the real estate things going on in her market. We want to welcome Laura Lahti to the Closing Table. How are you, Laura?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for accepting our invitation and taking time out of your very busy schedule to be here. We appreciate that. So, Laura, we want to talk about what's going on specifically in your market. But before we get into that, I like to talk to the person before we get into the profession. So, in 60 seconds or less, Laura, tell us who you are outside of real estate.
I am a mother, a wife, a daughter, and all that fun jazz. I was adopted at 5 months and grew up in the Twin Cities. I moved to Madison in 2001, where I met a guy. We got married, had a kid, a beautiful daughter, Kiona, who's 19 right now. And then, unfortunately, that marriage ended. I started real estate in 2010. And yeah, I love to volunteer and give back to the community. I love entertaining and creating events where people have some self-care as well.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Very eventful life. A lot that you've experienced, a lot of it relatable also, but you, more importantly, like you said, a mother, a daughter, a family person. So we love to hear that. We love to hear that. That's because we all are. So beautiful. We are here to talk business though. So you have a real estate business of your own. Let's talk about it. I want you to just describe it, your real estate business for us. And if you are able to, hit on a few key points, how long you've been licensed, where you're licensed, your niche specialty, and any notable achievements if you have them.
Yeah, so I got my real estate license in 2010. I was working multiple jobs, living on food stamps and low income housing and food stamps. Working, my daughter and I were just pretty much surviving paycheck to paycheck. I decided to jump into real estate because the jobs I was working, I just had the time to do that. It took a few years for me to get established. Um, I love meeting with people and taking them through the transaction as well. I feel like doing in-person consultations are worthwhile. They'll get a booklet from me and I'll explain the process to them and answer any questions that they might have. I guess I'm known as a hand holder too in that aspect.
Hand holder. What do you mean by that a little bit more, if you don't mind me asking?
I will find out so I'll email the listing agent if it's on the buyer side and gather as much information about that property before we go see it so that my buyer can make the best informed decision when going into that house, especially when it comes to
Gotcha.
hostile market where it's bidding wars and you have to make a quick decision. I feel like they deserve to know that information. On the seller side, I like to gather
Good
all
point.
that information as well and list it out in list it out in booklets. That way that the buyer coming in has all that information as well too. So I like to be detailed and just give everyone the information that they need, as well as let them know to do their own due diligence as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like that part. You still got to do your due diligence. You know, you want to put your trust in a professional who knows what they're talking about. But there's nothing wrong with doubling back. Looking up things your own, double checking some of the information just so you can have confirmation also. So I love that you encourage that.
Yeah.
Also, I love that you encourage that. So your market that you are serving, I think you touched on it briefly. Let's get into it a little bit more. I want you to describe your market first and foremost geographically. Talk about where you're licensed, how you personally describe the culture, the weather, name any notable attractions, landmarks. Just describe it for someone who may have never been to your market.
So I'm in Wisconsin, and we are in South Central Wisconsin, MLS, in Dane County, Madison. So that's where our capital is. Right now, we do have snow on the ground. It's about 25
Yes,
degrees and
yes.
everything. Some attractions that we have is Camp Randall. We have the UW Badgers, State Street. We have great farmers markets and the lakes as well too. I feel like Madison's a thriving metro
Mm.
community with a great cultural and diversity and plenty of options for entertainment and education and work.
Nice, nice. Yeah, we're experiencing the same here. Wisconsin being, in our same region of the Midwest, we got our first taste of snow yesterday too. So it's one of those unfortunate, but we knew it was coming type of thing.
Yeah,
So, it is what it is. And that's the thing too. It's part of our lifestyle, it's part of our culture here in the Midwest. And we just learn to find ways to deal with it. Now I'm seeing more places come out with, or more cities come out with different events to do outside for the entire community. Winterfest are starting to become a lot more popular. So, you know, some people may see snow as a downfall, or a time just to stay inside, but there's plenty of activities nowadays for you to go out and just enjoy
exactly.
with the
Yeah.
family.
I
So
started doing
yes.
creating game nights. So just having friends over for game
Mm.
nights.
Yep, another good way. Keep it social. That way you're not just locked in the house during the winter
Exactly.
times, because it can get
Yeah.
depressing. But anyway, all right. So let's get into some of the economics when it comes to your market, right? Any data, statistics that you have for us? Average pricing, average days on the market. How has the
Yeah.
market shifted or changed since beginning of this year?
Yeah,
Please.
so that's interesting. So, low inventory
Mm-hmm.
continues to push
Mm-hmm.
home prices up. So, we have like from start of January, we had like number of sales was like 270, and then it increased in October of this year to 5,040 sales that we've had, which is low actually.
Ooh.
Our medium house price
Mm.
was in January was 387,000, and now it's actually increased because of the lack of inventory up to 410 in October.
Uh, Interesting. Interesting. So, are we seeing more days on the market? With that being said, also, is it a significant increase or not too much?
I mean, I would think I mean, just due to the lack of inventory, it's not, I would say it's like a medium increase. But I
Mm-hmm.
would think
Mm-hmm.
like now, just because it's our slower time, we are seeing homes on the market longer. So like the average days for a single family home right now is like 62 days out
Oh
of
wow!
513 active
Wow!
homes. Yeah.
Really?
So I
Wow.
always feel like
Okay.
now's,
Yeah, that's a little bit longer than
yeah, well, I
anticipated,
feel like now is the time to buy too, because,
for
no
sure.
one wants to move into wintertime, especially during the holidays. So you have more time to negotiate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can ask for contingencies and not have to feel like you're not doing that. So more protection.
No, I agree. I agree. I've heard that before about during the holidays, probably one of the slowest times of the year. But I 100% agree. I said this to myself not too long ago. If everyone else feels like it's not a good time to move or make a decision on buying or selling a home, that's probably when you should probably make that decision. When it's not as popular, it gives you more of an advantage, as a buyer or seller in the market. So especially if your offer or your deal is attractive, compared to the other ones. So I think I agree. This is a great time, probably one of the best times to start looking into buying or selling a home. But that's just coming from my perspective. You're the
Exactly. Well,
professional,
I feel the
so.
same way too, because like once everyone wants to wait till, the lower interest rates, well, all those people that are waiting is going to create a frenzy because they're going to want to look too at the same time, and that's going to boost all the prices up
Hmm.
again. And then you're going to be in bidding wars
Correct.
once again. So right now is a great time to buy.
Well said. Well said. And with that being said, also that just kind of speaks on the issues that we're having now with the real estate industry, kind of in the market. Just kind of, I don't even want to say shifting, but it is kind of making a little bit of a shift. Like it's still a seller's market, and home prices are still increasing. Inventory is still low, might be increasing slightly, but nonetheless, that effect has caused some buyers in the market to price themselves out. Like they're not even in the market anymore. And with you transitioning from receiving state assistance to becoming a successful real estate agent that you are, beautiful story. First and foremost, I want to applaud you for your resilience. How do you leverage your own experiences and struggles to empower your clients who may have experienced the same thing, but they still want to achieve home ownership?
So I feel like I can be like a cheerleader, advocator as well too for them, knowing what I had to do to get to the steps. I can refer them to different lenders that can help them bring their credit back up, do that kind of stuff. Just tell them, what's best to pay off now or what money to save in that aspect. Um, I also have helped other clients who might not like, who are looking for like, that HGTV house. I just let them know like, hey, these are some handy things that you can actually
Yeah.
do for remodeling as
Hmm.
well too. I used to have a TV show called The Home Extension, and we had a DIY expert come on. So I learned how to tile, and I love all the home
Mm.
improvement stuff where I can actually go in and create something. And I just like the instant gratification as well too that comes with it.
Yeah. Uh, it's so funny when we hear about these home remodeling TV shows, and like it has a huge influence on some of the buyers and sellers in the market, which honestly I never would have expected at first, but I hear more and more from different agents how they'll deal with a client who has certain expectations of a home or certain expectations of what they can do to a home solely based off of what they see on these TV shows, HGTV and whatnot, and not knowing that they don't show them the hurdles that they have to overcome in a lot of cases, the paperwork, the permits that they have to go and get. So it's just interesting that you brought that up with clients looking at homes and in the process on television and trying to relate that to real life. But with you and professionals like yourself, you can kind of make it a little bit more of a reality, kind of use some of your experience to kind of say, hey, that is achievable or is not achievable. Or if you want to achieve it, this is the best way that I would recommend to doing it. Whether it come from
Hmm.
your tiling experience or whatever the case may be. But I just wanted to speak on that because I hear the television show reference all the time with clients. And I'm like, is it really influencing them that much? What would you say to that?
I would feel so. Like I've had buyers that were like set on one price range, and then they see that, oh, well, I can't get the house I want, so we're going to increase it.
Wow. Wow. Really? That doesn't make sense at
Hmm.
all. I mean, if you have the funds, yes, but I mean, usually if you have a set budget, you would think that's the ceiling. So to go above that just for your
Exactly.
dream
It's like,
home
well, we
is,
don't really want you to be a house poor,
I
but
know.
yeah, it's kind of.
Okay, but speaking on the dream home aspect, there's this idea of the aha moment, quote unquote, when someone finds their dream home, which I understand. You feel like you found the home for yourself. You're like, oh, this is it. But can you recall a particular client's experience where, through your unique home buying process, they had the moment of clarity and excitement, realizing that they did find their perfect home?
Yeah, I mean, oh, there's so many different stories and everything. I've had clients get just walk in the house and they just imagine what they can put their belongings and
Mm-hmm.
all their things there.
Mm-hmm.
If they imagine family gatherings or getting a new puppy or something, and it's the greatest moment that a client can have. And tell them before we write the offer, did you have that aha moment? And they'll tell me yes. But also before we write that offer, I'll talk to them about, okay, well, let's talk to your lender, make sure we get that updated pre-approval and just
Right.
see, how much the estimated monthly payments might be, as well as like cash you'd have to bring to closing to see if that works for you. And then if there's any other questions that I can answer for you before going into this from the listing side. So
Yes, nice.
Just make sure their aha moment is concrete, because I would hate for them to get buyer's remorse.
Mm. So I mean, have you experienced that at all, or where someone not necessarily had buyer's remorse, but maybe were kind of on the fence about their decision of the home that they were in the process of getting? And did you have to do any convincing whatsoever to kind of show them like, hey, this is a better option than anything else? Any situation like that?
Um, Trying to think. I for those situations, I'll tell them like to list out a pro and con list if they're kind of on the fence. If
Uh,
like let's say one partner's for it and one partner's not or on the fence, then we'll list out pros and cons.
mm.
And then I'll tell them to sleep on it too. If they're able to sleep on it, I tell them to sleep on it as well too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that you said that if you're able to, because sometimes, depending on where you are in the market, you don't have that time. You don't have that luxury of time, I should say. I mean, you have to sometimes act very, very quickly. So I've heard that concept
Yeah,
before of the pros and the cons list, and you're not going to always get something that you exact want. Exactly. So you're going to have to make some sacrifices here and there. And then that's when some of those home improvements that you may be able to help them with or advise them on can come in handy to help them upgrade it to whatever they want, more than anything.
exactly.
Yeah. You have a mission to create a community where everyone feels that they belong more than anything. And based off what you said earlier, you like to, have game nights and things like that and create events where people can come. I completely understand that. Can you share an initiative or event where you were seen as, trying to get the community together and foster this good sense of family and unity?
Yeah, so last year I founded a group organization called AMASIAN. It's
Mm,
called for Amazing Asian. And we meet like once a month for like networking. Um, it's for to create face-to-face opportunities through monthly social gatherings and to promote the information exchange through social groups within the Asian community. So
mhm.
that's been really huge, and a need that we want in Madison, because there wasn't anything specific for all Asians.
Right.
And I'm Korean, so there wasn't a group that I could join for Koreans. So
Mhm,
I
mhm.
decided to create this group.
Nice, nice. And since then, and how long has it been going on now? And you say you do events every month, correct?
Yep. Yeah. So it's been going on for a year,
Okay,
a little bit over
okay,
a year.
good. And it's not just centered around real estate and things of that nature. It's essentially just overall community things. I'm assuming you have just like social gathering, games,
Yeah.
activities, and things like that.
Yeah, so we've been doing like icebreaker games. We've had like dragon dancers come in. We've had people come in for like massages. We've
Mm,
had food trucks come in. We've had last month or this month we actually had a night market, so with different vendors coming in within the community selling their goods. This year we went to hit go and go to different communities within Madison and surrounding, go to different restaurants and help promote their businesses as well too, and just help promote the small business owners.
love it, love it, love it. I think that's very, very important. You like to live somewhere that has a melting pot of cultures, right? That way you can learn about other cultures, about other people and their lifestyles, and also it just helps you to be more inclusive with different things. And but I also understand the importance of strength within cultures and community within cultures is what I would like to say, and helping people within your community also thrive. With that being said, I'm glad you brought that up, and just let me know how you feel about this question. Just asking, is there anything related to the Asian American community that where they may struggle or face certain obstacles when it comes to real estate, even specifically in your market, that you usually help with or can help with? Are you seeing anything with the community facing those type of hurdles?
Yeah, so I actually had an instance this summer where
Mm,
had an Asian American client buyer,
hmm.
and he was worried about discrimination, like his legal name being on the offer. Um,
Mm,
so for I told him, like we don't discriminate, and I reassured them about our fair housing laws and everything, and that everyone
Hmm.
involved in the transaction, needs to put their best foot forward. And
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you spoke on that, because I think that's very, very important. As much as we have laws, um, you know, uh, rules, different types of things in place to prevent that, it still happens, unfortunately. And then, like I said, that's why I feel like it's important for, someone of a specific community to reach out to people in that community and see if there's anything that they can do to help them and build that, that camaraderie and that unity within it. Because, like I said, you see discrimination against blacks, against Asians, Hispanics, and or even people of different sexual orientations or preferences. And like we said, in a perfect world, we wouldn't even need these laws or rules. But unfortunately, it does happen. So that's why I just wanted you to briefly speak on it, any experience regarding that, because as someone in a Black American community myself, I understand that our community does face discrimination also. So thank you for actually being someone in that field that's actually contributing to the solution rather than anything else. So great, great,
yeah.
great set. Well, thank you so much, Laura. We appreciate you for pulling up a chair to the closing table and sharing all of your knowledge. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, the floor is yours.
I hope everyone has a safe and great holiday. And if you want to reach out to me, my number is 608-239-3469, or else you can go to my website at teamlahti.com. It's TEAMLAHTI.com.
Well said. Thank you again, Laura. We appreciate you so much. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, do us both a favor and hit the like button, please, and thank you. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, please do the same. Give us a like, 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Laura, I like to leave our audience with a question before we leave, get their brains turned a little bit. So this is for you, audience. Other than building new construction, how do you know when you found your dream home? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.